police are arresting right beside us.
Oh my god.
Stray bullet to come through the back of this thing, even if it is from a 22, it could hit me right here and I could be dead, so.
Oh my god. Did you see that? It's like dive bombing right around my head.
Every solo traveler fears a bad van camping encounter, but nothing prepares you for a midnight attack where they know your exact name or bullets bouncing off your truck bed. If you heard a knock right now, would you open the door? Mav documents truck camping and outdoor adventures across America. On April 10, 2020, he stealth camped in the back of his truck near Lake Superior in Minnesota. He parked overnight close to his fishing spot so he could be ready by 5 in the morning. But before sunrise, the night took a turn he never expected.
Right now I'm driving up north. I'm gonna be doing an overnight in the truck tonight. Hopefully we can get some fish. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to fish tonight, but I guess we'll have to see, so see when we get up there. For tonight, I gotta get my bed set up and I gotta jump in the back of my truck and get some shut-eye because we're gonna go after these fish really early in the morning. Kind of a weird little stealth camping. I haven't ever been like, I just felt very overwhelmed earlier. It's kind of a odd thing to have a bunch of cameras out. I mean, people can probably connect the dots there, what's going on, so.
After turning off his light and settling in, he noticed people outside the truck. Their headlights were on and they were just sitting there nearby. Turning his own light back on felt too risky, so he stayed completely still in the darkness of the truck bed and waited for them to leave.
Alright, so there's people right outside. They just did a burnout in their truck and they're just hanging out right here. I don't know what's going on. I know you can't see me right now, but I can't risk turning on any lights.
Then, while he was still in the dark, the truck suddenly felt surrounded. A sound followed, and at first he could not tell what it was.
Alright, so my main camera has died. It's about 2:30 in the morning. My camera died, but there was like 2 kids out this way. It sounded like something dragging on the ground. I couldn't tell exactly where it was. Close to the truck because the wind is like making so much noise in my truck. It had to have been close.
There were kids outside near his truck firing a .22 caliber rifle at a metal garbage can about 50 yards away. The bullets were bouncing off and ricocheting back in his direction.
This dragging goes on and then all of a sudden there's a pop. I couldn't tell what it was at first. It was the sound of a gun because there was the sound of a ricocheting bullet hitting concrete. I know my reenactment noises are great. It was pretty scary. Another one went off and it sounded like a small gun, and there's high schoolers outside of my truck playing with the gun. That's really reassuring.
Mav stayed frozen inside the truck. He could not move around safely. He could not simply drive away. All he could do was wait in silence and hope none of the ricochets hit the truck.
So, I've never felt more unsafe truck camping somewhere. I'm probably just gonna have to set my car alarm off. Stray bullet to come through the back of this thing, even if it is from a 22, it could hit me right here and I could be dead, so. Not good. But, for the time being, I got 2 more hours to sleep. Sorry again about the dead main camera. I wish it was alive too, but hopefully this one suffices. Just don't be dumb with your friends. I was in high school too, but like, I don't know. It's not cool. Don't feel safe.
Bullets can change direction when they hit a hard surface, especially metal or concrete. Even a small caliber round can still be dangerous if it bounces unpredictably. It is hard to say if the people outside knew he was there, or if they were just being reckless in the worst possible place. Either way, one quiet night turned into a situation where staying hidden may have been his only safe choice. What would you do if you were trapped inside that truck? Larry runs the YouTube channel Work Less, Enjoy Life More, where he shares truck camping trips and off-grid adventures across the American Southwest. His videos often take him through wide-open land, quiet forest roads, and places where the nearest town can be an hour away in any direction, From the outside, that kind of life can look calm and peaceful. On June 2nd, 2022, Larry was camping deep in Arizona's Mogollon Rim region. Around him was thick ponderosa forest with no neighbors, no noise, just Larry, his 2 dogs, and the kind of silence that usually makes a night outdoors feel just right. But that night, the silence did not last.
Oh, yeah. I hear somebody walking outside. And they knocked.
After dark, something outside the van suddenly got his attention. Larry grabbed his gun and stayed exactly where he was.
They're walking around the camper.
Whoever was outside did not leave. Footsteps kept moving slowly around the van. Larry stayed still and listened, his whole body tense. Minutes passed and the sounds kept going. The movement did not feel random. It sounded slow and careful, like the person outside was not lost, not confused, and knew exactly what they were doing.
I can still hear them walking outside.
Then it happened again. Another knock came from outside. This time it was followed by a slow scraping sound along the door. Something hard was being pulled across the metal, moving little by little, steady and careful. It was the kind of sound that made it hard to believe this was nothing.
One more knock. Just one knock.
Larry stayed quiet and did not move. After a while, the noises finally stopped, but he barely slept. When morning finally came around 7, he stepped outside and noticed right away that something was wrong.
This chair was over here by the table last night when I went to bed, or the last time I went outside.
His camping chair had been moved. It was now sitting directly in front of the van's door, facing outward. Whoever had been circling him in the dark had also touched his campsite. The chair had either been moved or used in a way that made it look like a watching spot, a place where someone could sit and look out. That one detail felt even stranger than the knocking and the footsteps. It made the whole thing feel less like a random scare and more like something done on purpose. Larry packed up and drove north. Less than half a mile from where he had spent the night, he passed a lone tent standing by itself among the trees. It looked simple and bare, and no one was visible around it. Almost right after that, he saw a dark-colored truck parked on the side of the road. Behind the wheel was a man sitting still, staring straight at Larry as he drove past.
I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen another person in miles and miles. I haven't seen anybody. The guy in the truck. There was a guy sitting in a truck on the side of the road. Like a dark colored.
Even miles later, that uneasy feeling stayed with him. The footsteps, the scraping sound, the chair moved in the night, and the silent man in the truck all stayed in his head. There is no clean answer to a night like that. No one can say for sure who was outside or what they wanted. But someone got close enough to touch his camp while he was trying to sleep, and that alone makes the whole encounter hard to ignore. What do you think was really going on outside that van? He thought it was just another quiet solo camp. Then someone came back after midnight and attacked his van. But one detail stayed with him. Someone said his exact name. On November 17th, 2025, Brendan from the YouTube channel Brendan Explores headed out for another solo camper van trip in Shropshire, England. His channel is known for simple camping adventures, quiet countryside drives, and honest moments from life on the road. But this night would make him wonder if the people outside had recognized more than just his van.
Alrighty, let's hit the road. The next stop, the bog mine, Minsterley. So where we're staying tonight isn't too far from a place called Bishop's Castle. But the road to Bishop's Castle from Shrewsbury, you'll know this already, the road is notoriously bad. The higher we're heading up into the hills, the more likely it's looking that it's going to rain. In fact, it does look like it's raining over there. But just on top of the hills there, you can see the mist forming. Oh, there's a van. There's a van. There we go. Okay. And I have actually stayed here a couple of times. Looks like someone's been doing donuts in this car park. Now, the plan isn't to stay here tonight. The plan is to park here. The Shropshire Hills aren't looking particularly scenic at the moment. If it wasn't for the birdsong, it would be dead quiet.
Brendan spent part of the day exploring bog mine before setting up near buried ditches. Earlier, he noticed fresh donut tire marks across the parking area, a quiet sign that local groups may gather there after dark. Still, the forest seemed calm enough for the night.
And a nice, warm diesel heater. Why hasn't... Interesting. Let's try one more time for good luck. You couldn't write it. Have I got enough to stay warm tonight? I'm going to check the fuse for the diesel heater. I know that the fuse for that diesel heater is down on the driver's seat. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. That's even more annoying, hearing their diesel heater working. It was here. Right, diesel heater is that one there. I can't even see in that one, so I can't tell if it's blown or not. Right, let's give it a wiggle. Oh, come on. Oh no. Maybe I should have checked that when it came out. That's never failed me, that. Never failed me. That's something to look into when I get back. I'll try and freeze my arse off tonight. 6 degrees it'll be in this van. I'm used to it being 22. Time to chill out. I'm going to see how I get on for the next, I don't know, hour or two. Alrighty then, the sooner we can get some heat in this van, the better. So, cooking dinner a little bit early tonight. Nice. That one's nice and toasted. I cannot wait to tuck into that. Look at that inside there. Isn't that beautiful? The melted cheese. Oh, that is out as well. Inside there. Peppers, onions, chicken. One of my most favourite meals to have in a camper van.
After parking, things started to go wrong. His diesel heater stopped working, and even after checking the fuse, he could not fix it. With the temperature around 4 to 6 degrees, he chose to ate dinner inside, put on extra layers, and got ready for bed.
No one else in the car park. We're all alone. I've got my coat on because it's so blooming cold in here. Oh, it's got to be touching 4 degrees here at the moment. I heard what sounded like teenagers laughing and giggling before. I was just about to get into bed. Flipping rave at buried ditches. Oh my god. That was just going to turn an already bad night into an even worse night. We're all alone now. I am so ready to get into this bed. I'm freezing, getting into bed with 3 flipping layers on. Oh. I'll catch you in the morning.
As darkness settled over the forest, the parking area became completely quiet. For a while, it felt like he was alone. Then shortly before midnight, a group of young people drove into the lot. They stopped close to Brendan's van, played loud music, laughed, and stayed for several minutes. After about 10 minutes, they left. Brendan hoped that was the end of it and tried to sleep. But the night was not over.
Just had someone pull up outside the van. What the f*** was that? Where's the light? Right, I think they've just driven off. Where the hell are my keys? Right. Oh my god. Have they done anything else? Just pelted eggs at the side of the van. This is one of those moments where I would just put the camera down and go home. I'm going to leave this spot. I'm not staying here tonight. When they first turned up and parked right outside the van here, playing loud music, that there was going to be trouble. I'm pretty sure it's the same people that came back.
Sometime after midnight, the group returned. Without warning, a loud impact hit the side of the camper van. Brendan woke up instantly as more eggs smashed against the metal. Half asleep and confused in the dark, he searched for his flashlight and keys while the group sped away. By the time he was ready to react, they were already gone. The attack was short, but it changed everything.
Well away from buried ditches now. I've made a decision. I'm going home. I'm not going to be finding another park up tonight. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the flipping morning. I'm going to sleep in my own bed tonight, and I will bring you back in the morning after a good night's sleep, and I'll show you the full extent of the van when it's daylight.
Brendan no longer felt safe staying there. Rather than waiting to see if they came back again, he started the van and left around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's safe to say I did not have the best night's sleep last night. I got back home, it's gone 1 o'clock in the morning. My eyes feel red raw. Has it gone in the sliding rail? It's all dripped down there. I was very aware that I didn't really want to really post this video, and I've only really ever had incidents like this happen on bad camps, you know, where something bad's happened. I've had things worse happen than an egg on the side of the van. I'm pretty sure it was the same car. I heard somebody say my name, Brendan, on the second time that they came back. I don't get it. But I'm sorry this isn't the positive video that I was hoping to post.
The next morning at home, he checked the damage. Egg residue was stuck across the side of the camper van and had dried along the sliding door track. But the mess was not the part that bothered him most. During the second attack, Brendan believes he clearly heard someone outside call his name, Brendan. If he heard correctly, this may not have been a random prank against any camper van. It raises the possibility that someone recognized him, left to get the eggs, and came back looking for his van. After Brendan shared the story, many viewers focused on that same detail. Hearing his name made the encounter feel personal, not random. Brendan himself said he still does not know why it happened. Do you think they recognized him before they came back, or could there be another explanation? On May 8th, 2026, Beth from Beth's Midlife Adventure shared a van life trip through Nevada, where she took a borrowed Mercedes Sprinter toward the area around Area 51. Her channel focuses on road travel, solo camping, and real moments from life on the road. At first, the trip seemed like a curious desert adventure, but the farther she went, the more uneasy the day began to feel.
Well, I'm driving through the desert of Nevada right now, and it can be a lonely highway, let me tell you. There's a lot of strange things, and I kind of want to investigate this a little bit because I go through Nevada constantly, and there is some unexplainable. If you've ever driven through the deserts of Nevada, then you know that there's all kinds of weird, funky art and graffiti that you'll just find around the corner. And apparently this area is known for its UFOs. I don't believe in UFOs. I don't believe in aliens. There's nothing to be afraid about. Okay, all that aside, I also feel like there's weird people. Those are the ones we should be more worried about. I've never slept on the extraterrestrial highway before, and tonight I'm going to be doing that all alone in the dark. We're going to see how that goes, because I don't know, but sometimes there are things that are just unexplainable. That couple was really nice, and he was just like standing taking pictures of things, and I was in his background, so it was a little uncomfortable. And then realized it was his wife in the car too, and she was like, "Can I take a picture of you with your van?" And I was all, "Sure." An area where there's not a lot of people going by, because I don't know them, and they could be totally nice, and I'm sure that they were. Like, I'm sure they were very kind. It's better to be cautious of strangers versus...
While crossing the open Nevada desert, Beth talks about how strange and mysterious the landscape feels. She also questions how safe it is for a woman to camp alone in such an isolated place. During the drive, she has a brief, uncomfortable moment when a man appears to photograph her along with the van. She later sees his wife inside the car, and the situation passes without trouble. As she reaches Rachel, Nevada, Beth stops to explore the small roadside attractions before continuing toward the military boundary near Area 51. The atmosphere changes as she passes old locked containers, warning signs from the United States Air Force, and strong desert winds. Looking around the abandoned area, she admits she cannot shake the feeling that someone might be watching from a distance. Before sunset, she finds a quiet campsite beside a rocky hillside where she hopes to spend the night alone.
Well, I mentioned that some weird, strange things have been happening, and I just wanted to share a few of the incidents because I don't think it's a coincidence. Some things that you would not expect to happen, like a freak accident. I picked up this Mercedes from Las Vegas. I noticed that there's a code up on the dash, and it's saying you only have 5 more starts until you go into limp mode. If you are overdue on a service, it will give you so many starts to get to a dealership before it just totally shuts down. So my worst fear is coming true because I'm downtown in Las Vegas in a van that only has so many starts, but it turns out to be more than Jason and I can handle on our own. Second thing that happened, my cat has been going outside so much. Well, Jason needed some help with me filming for him, so I put Apollo in the van, and while I was out filming, Apollo escaped. He's running around on the rocks, and I'm like, how the heck did you get out? Did I leave a door open? No, he clawed through the screen on the Mercedes Sprinter. So now I have to tell Nuvo that my cat has just destroyed their screen, and I'm kind of freaking out because damages, my cat has never done this before, but I was literally so stressed out about this. Issue number 3 happened. I have the van doors open, Jason and I are out filming sunrise, and all of a sudden I start smelling smoke. Oh my gosh, guys, I come inside and my ceiling is on fire. The ceiling of the Mercedes Sprinter that I have borrowed from Nuvo is on fire. I start blowing on it, and it's not a big flame, it's just a little flame, but there's lots of smoke. And then I start patting it with my hoodie, and I'm banging on the roof of the van. I get it out, but there are 2 spots that are burned.
Okay, something is magnifying a very intense light. It's actually burned 2 holes that Beth just found. The sun is coming through the door. When I put my hand up here, I can block that light, but I can't figure out, and I don't see anything on the table here that I feel like would be bouncing. Oh, it's your mirror.
No, my mirror hasn't.
It's your mirror.
My mirror hasn't been pointed up the whole time.
It's your mirror.
It ended up the freakiest thing ever. My mirror was reflecting the sun onto the roof and started a fire in the Mercedes.
While relaxing inside the van, Beth explains why she feels this vehicle has already brought an unusual run of bad luck. Since borrowing the Mercedes Sprinter, she has dealt with several unexpected problems. The most serious happened when sunlight reflected through a small mirror left inside the van and burned 2 holes into the ceiling. What first looked impossible turned out to be an accidental fire caused by reflected sunlight, leaving her shocked that something so simple could create that much damage.
That are freak accidents and things that you just can't explain. There's a bat. I came out to move my camera, and there's a bat that is dive bombing around by my head. It keeps coming right by me. Oh my gosh. Oh, can you see it? Oh my God. Did you see that? It's like dive bombing right around my head. Is that a sign for tonight? Jason, where are you? Apollo. It's a little spooky out right now.
As evening turns to darkness, Beth steps outside to move one of her cameras. Without warning, a bat suddenly begins flying straight toward her several times. Startled by the repeated dives, she runs back inside the van as quickly as she can. Once safely inside, she locks every door and closes all the curtains before settling in for the night. Morning arrives quietly. Beth wakes up safely after an uneventful night. There are no strange lights in the sky and no mysterious visitors around her campsite. She packs her gear and prepares to leave, carrying home memories that were far more unsettling than she expected before the trip began. Many viewers later said, the most important lesson was not about Area 51 at all, but about staying aware and protecting yourself while traveling alone in remote places. If you spent one night near Area 51, what would make you feel more uneasy? the legends surrounding the desert, or the silence of being there alone. A couple was only trying to get through a wet, foggy night. Then rangers and police appeared near their parking area, and the calm routine quickly fell apart. This video of the night comes from Steve and Audra, a van life couple based in the United States, who document full-time travel across North America. Their videos often show what life on the road is really like, including the unexpected problems that can happen while they are working, filming, and living out of their van. The date is November 17, 2025, and they are at Rialto Beach in Forks, Washington, United States. From the beginning, the situation already feels a little off. Heavy rain fog and poor visibility make it hard to move around. Even their normal routine is being slowed down by the weather. They keep working and recording, and that is the important part. Their attention is on the task in front of them, not on everything happening around the parking area. The place feels busy and uneasy, but it has not become a threat yet. Then things begin to change.
Whoa, this is crazy. The police are arresting this guy right beside us.
Okay, you guys, so this is bonkers. When we came into the park, there were a lot of rangers and cops parked up. I'm totally soaked. I was just getting ready to...
Several vehicles, rangers, and police are positioned close to the parking area. At first, there is no clear explanation, and that alone makes the moment uncomfortable. Nothing has happened to Steve and Audra directly, but seeing that many officials nearby is enough to make the whole place feel uncertain. Then the situation gets more serious. Officers become active. Lights are on. Weapons are visible. The area is now being controlled by law enforcement. Audra is outside while Steve is inside the van, leaving them with no easy way to communicate.
The window was cracked and I thought, oh, someone left their window down, and then realized somebody was in there. I felt a little weird when we pulled up here because the window was cracked and then he was doing something like kind of down low. The door's open, there's like nothing in the back. And so, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it's really weird. So they're all still out there. So you were in here eating and I knew the curtain was down. Did you have any idea what was going on?
Yeah. So I had just made some cereal and all of a sudden I hear, "Driver, get out of the car, hands up where we can see him." My heart just jumps out of my chest. We had noticed a gathering of park rangers and police officers. It had to be half a dozen cars just outside the entrance. Are they after me for some reason? Like, do they think I'm somebody else? And quickly realize they're dealing with the guy next door.
Could you hear much or see what's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, they were like, "Driver, get out of the car, put your hands up." And then they were like, I guess they wanted to see if he had any weapons tucked in his pants or anything. And then they had him get on his knees.
Then the situation reaches its closest point. Commands can be heard clearly. The voices are loud, direct, and very close. For a moment, Steve misunderstands where the commands are aimed. It feels like the situation might involve him, but it does not. After a little while, things become clearer. It is a real arrest, not a training exercise. The focus moves away from Steve and Audra, and the scene slowly calms down. What makes this encounter so unsettling is not only the arrest itself, it is how close it happens and how quickly they lose control of the space around them. They are separated, they cannot communicate clearly, and they do not know exactly where they fit into what is going on. Nothing directly happens to them, but for a little while, it feels like it might. That is what makes the moment stay with you. 1 second, they are just trying to get through a rough night on the road. The next, they are caught beside a scene they never asked to be near. If you were inside that van, would you stay quiet and wait, or try to leave as soon as possible? Our next horrifying video comes from Mad Aussie in the Arctic, a travel and van life channel that focuses on stealth camping in extreme environments. They often film overnight stays in restricted or semi-public areas, capturing everything under real-life conditions. It's April 12th, 2025, and they've pulled into a marina-side parking area in Stavanger, Norway.
Just left us, and now, if you're going to stealth camp, you want to keep it max undercover. We've got this blackout blind that I bought on Amazon in England last summer, so we'll put that up.
Right from the start, the setup is carefully planned out. Instead of using official facilities, they choose to park in an unofficial area. Because of that, their immediate goal is to stay hidden. The The blackout blinds go up, keeping all the light trapped inside the van so people outside can no longer see in. But then something changes outside.
I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 police cars sitting on the other side of the road here. They weren't there before. I don't know what they're doing. They're on a stakeout or something. I just sit here for 10 minutes and see what they're doing. They might do a drive-by. Strange. 2 police cars. I don't know if you can see, but this boat in front of me.
A security vehicle arrives and starts checking the area. It moves slowly, seemingly looking over the surroundings, and even stops for a short moment. It doesn't actually come up to the van, but it's still glaringly clear that the area is being watched. At this point, the situation starts to feel much closer, even though no one has actually approached them yet.
They've passed, so I think we're in the clear. Shit, Nina. The security guard, he's driving off, so it's just the police now left. Where's the police? Over there. I've got the infrared blue lights on, so we're in stealth here. We're calling it a night. See you in the morning.
After a while, things begin to settle. The police and security remain outside, but no one comes over and the moment never escalates into anything bigger. But the detail that really matters here is how long it lasts. The longer they stay nearby, the more the pressure builds inside the van, even though nothing is really happening. This encounter never turns into a direct confrontation. It stays completely quiet, shifting from hiding to being watched to feeling way too close for comfort. No one ever speaks to them and no one knocks on the van. In the end, nothing happens, but it feels like it easily could have. Sometimes the scariest part isn't actually getting caught, it's just sitting there in total silence wondering if the next sound you hear will be a knock on the door. What would you do if you were inside that van? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.